Hey guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp with a Limp, and I'm here with something a little different for you. I've got Nuclear War Simulator pulled up here, and this is by Slithering Games, and I've been poking around at it a little bit, so I wanted to show it to you guys. We're not going to look at everything, but this isn't a game per se. It's a simulator, and it really does lean hard into the simulator aspect, okay? Like so many others, you've got tutorials, a bunch of different scenarios you can choose from. They do have mod support on here, which is good. I think this thing really would need mod support, so you could download scenarios that other people create or cook up, all that good stuff. But click on our tutorials up here at the top, basics, so how it works. And there's a lot of simulating like the AI in this. So you can really be as hands-on or hands-off as you want to be. If you want to just, let's play a game, like war games, you can do that. Just watch and see what all happens. But it shows you in all the tutorials here, how the basics of the AI is going to work. Targeting, attack plan creation, so where you're going to pop your missiles off. Placing objects and individuals, humans in your simulation. You're not going to worry about all that. By all means, if you get into it, go through the tutorials. But got a whole bunch of scenarios to pick through here. And you have like the core, that's what comes with the game. User, which is you created it, or mods that you downloaded. So it is nice that they've got that separated out. See here, I've just got the core ones that are on it, and it's got pretty much everything that you would expect to see and stuff like this. European ones, there's the MAD, the mutually assured destruction, and there was one that actually caught my attention because I thought it was really cool. Here it is, AI Uprising. So Skynet is in this thing. Artificial intelligence created by humans to automate military systems has become self-aware, decided to wipe out humans. So you can pop this scenario off and watch as it creates a nuclear winter. Now, here's the thing with this, though. It seems like it released a little bit too soon. Like this should have stayed in the oven and cooked just a little bit longer, because I've noticed a few glitches with it, and a lot of the features haven't been implemented yet. Like this one, I played through it earlier, the nuclear war stuff. It does the nuclear war, it creates nuclear winter, but then it's not really simulated after that fact of what all happens with that. You get figures of there was this death toll, and you can see where the fallout is and all that good stuff, but it doesn't really kind of like ice over climate change the planet, which you would want to see in this. Now, it says that that's going to be implemented later, but I think honestly this should have been implemented first. What we're going to do is I'm going to let you guys see a scenario pop off. So we got mutually assured destruction. I've played this a couple times. I kind of like watching it, and it's the deal, right? Where you shoot us, we're going to shoot you. Everybody dies. And in this one, it's basically United States versus Russia, and one side will try to eliminate the other, and then whatever's left on the other side will try to fire back and wipe out everyone that's left. Pretty much the whole world gets wiped out, but it's definitely fun to watch. So pick whatever scenario you want. Down at the bottom it says load scenario, so you want to click that, and it does take a little bit to load because there's a fair amount of stuff being simulated here. So let's pause it. It's in real time. All right, so you can obviously pause, but then when you're clicking on play real time, it's real time, like to the second, right? And it's kind of cool because you're watching the missiles streak across. And if you really think about that to yourself, right, that if you can see something moving across a globe at this size, right, and you can actually see it moving across, how fast in real life that missile has to be moving for you to actually watch it streak across the globe. Really, really cool stuff. Depending on what scenario you pull up, it'll have different forces arrayed on the planet. On the left, you have a bunch of different options for the scenario. On the right, you have options to control the scenario. Key thing that I'm going to do on this one is activate country's AI, right? So if you hold left click and click there, you see how little check marks there. That means that everyone is being controlled by the AI. So you can set it up however you like it. If you want to have control of one nation, you can control the one nation, let the computer control everything else. If you want to just pop up a scenario and let the AI run everything and just see how it all plays out, you can do that. Really cool stuff. But when you're looking at your map, all these little forces are the different types of things. So military bases, leaders, planes, missiles, obviously, which you guys will see here in just a minute. And to select it, you're going to be using right click, which I think is a little backwards. You know, some people like it, some people don't. And you have to click and drag. So you see I've created a box, boom, and it shows the numbers of units that I've selected, 51. And then I can scroll down through and it shows what types of units I have selected, whether it's a military base, bomber base, aircraft, all that good stuff. Click on the X and it pops right off. When you're looking at the map here, it has all of the countries outlined. Up in the top right, you see all the stuff that you can see. So population, casualties, physical effects, so like raiders, fallout, and fires. So if you see all the yellow on the map, click off the population, goes away. So you can see where it is really dense. And I think that's kind of cool. Like look down here in Egypt, you can see, yeah, they're all along the river where you would expect them to be. And then places like India and China, they're just packed full of people. They're all huge population centers. Really cool to watch the sun pan across. The graphics are actually pretty decent, I think, for the globe itself. The symbols for the units, it's hit or miss, but something like this, you don't really need like high-end graphics for it. You're more interested in what's being simulated itself. Here we're on the United States, and generally they're the ones that attack first. So let's pan back a little bit, and I'm going to let the scenario play and let you guys see what happens. So if we do real time, it's real slow, so we'll speed it up. We can go into 10 times, 100 times, or 1,000 times speed, and boom, I think we are getting launches. Yep. See missiles popping off from all the submarines here across the sea. Bunch of different spots, especially the Midwest, the Western coast. They're all firing their missiles off. Here's some more out in the Atlantic Ocean, out here off the coast of Europe, all firing in towards Russia. So you can see if you scroll back just a little more, they're all starting to come around. But let's speed this up a little bit so you can see what happens. Look at that. Missiles are starting to come in. And if you slow it down, right, we zoom in just a little bit, you can see they're actually moving, right? That's what I was talking about earlier. You can really see like how fast this stuff is coming in. Again, we'll speed it up a little bit. They're getting ready to hit, and you'll start seeing the bomb effects here in just a second. Boom, 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 boom. They're taking out all the targets. And now again, this is the AI is controlling the US and they're controlling Russia, right? So they're controlling everything. I'm not actually launching any of the missiles. You can do that. You can control it as little or as much as you want to. And the rest of the missiles coming in. Now we're going to speed this up, let you guys see all of them. Good God, look at that. Look, just huge amount of missiles. This first strike, we're going to take everything down. And now Russia is launching their retaliatory strikes. And here they come. They're firing at NATO forces and mainly the US, trying to eliminate their abilities. Now here, let me go ahead and pause it. This is a glitch or an error or something that I have discovered, and I'm not entirely sure what's going on here with this, but it seems like the aircraft constantly just end up in these little bunches, and they're not really doing anything. If we look, we've got Soviet aircraft that are doing something. If we watch these guys, they're going to start actually moving on. Let me speed it up just a little bit faster. They're actually heading towards targets. But these NATO ones, they pretty much just stay there. And I think there's some in the US, like a few that bunch up here, they might launch. It seems like sometimes they take off and they do something, and then sometimes they don't. They just kind of hover around. Anyway, here's the the strikes on the US and they're going after the military targets. Kind of works for me because I'm over here on the East Coast, so I'm not getting blown up. I do have some relatives that live in the Midwest, though. They're very unhappy right now. And huge swaths, just missiles coming in. Really cool to watch these guys come in. Let's speed them up a little bit. And boom! Now, you can click here, calculate casualties from recent explosions. This does take a sec, and you'll notice that the game starts to slow down, glitch just a little bit. It's not really glitching, it's just taking a lot of processing power because it is calculating all the casualties that have been killed in all the different areas. So that is normal from what I've seen. These are nuclear fallout, right? So if you click up here, you see where it says fallout dose, and you can see from the wind patterns as it's blowing across and all that fallout's going across. Here we go. And it shows the fatalities. When click on different things, it shows what all is going on so far. Let's scroll down to the US. Let's see, where's it at? Mainly European nations and Russia have taken most of the casualties. A little bit in Mexico, which is, yeah, I guess to be expected since they're right next to us. Norway's taken a lot. Russia's taken 23 million. I wonder how many United States has taken. Let's see. Yeah, United States only taken 6.6. So not too bad. UK's taken about 2.5. So it'll calculate. Boom. Like here's the population. Here's how many people have been killed. So far, about 37.5 million people killed off in the mutually insured destruction. And I believe the Soviets, the Soviets aircraft, they actually fly. But for some reason, the NATO forces do not fly. They just keep doing this over and over and over again. I don't know. Are they hovering, trying to avoid missiles, or are they, is there a pathing error? I think there's some type of pathing error. And we see the same thing that's happening with some U.S. aircraft. And depending on the scenario that I've played, like I've played this one a couple times so far. And each time it's a varying amount of aircraft that have launched. These should be a bunch of B-52s. Yeah, B-52s coming in from the U.S. Some launch and some don't. See, we've got some more B-2s, B-52s, and they're just kind of hovering around the base. One of these that I did, only 3 B-52s took off. The rest were just circling there. So there's some type of glitch with aircraft right now. I don't know exactly what's going on with it. Potentially the AI's done something wrong in the fact that they're controlling it. I can't say one way or the other. It is kind of cool to watch the aircraft come in. See all these Soviet ones. See their Tu-95s flying in. They've got a bunch heading for America and a few NATO targets, I believe. They should have some coming in toward, these guys are heading in towards NATO. And you can see there's a little bit of fallout still. And see all these NATO planes, they're not doing anything. They're just sitting there. But let's speed this up just a little bit faster. And they're dropping in some more missiles onto the UK. These guys will probably get to NATO before. Oh, yep, there they go. They're firing off their missiles. Boom! Here goes B-52s, dropping a whole bunch on the Soviets, and Soviets dropping a whole bunch on the US, hitting major population centers. All that cool stuff, and you can see again where the fallout's starting to go. And a few more aircraft just chilling around. But that's the nuclear war simulator. There's a lot of different scenarios that you can choose from. Some that are small in, just focused on a couple of small nations. And again, like I said, you can create your own. You can place whatever units you want. You have a fair amount of options here. But I'll be honest, I don't think the amount of options you have here and the what you can do with this simulator is really worth the cost, because this costs $30, right? You can buy it on Steam right now. And I don't think it's bad. I think this is interesting, but I think it's more interesting for someone who's looking for less of a game and more of a simulator. It's a simulator, right? This, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. It's less for playing. It seems like it seems more for someone who's more interested in the raw data, right? Like how many casualties will be caused by these different types of strikes and these different types of scenarios, and all this type of stuff. When I'm looking at this, I'm just like, I don't think this is going to keep my attention, and I don't think it's going to keep most of y'all's attention. Now, there are people that this would be designed for. Someone who's really into numbers, really into the specifics, and the real wargaming it out of a full-on nuclear war. I think this is going to do better than some of the other stuff out there. However, let's flip over something. Truth be told, if I were you guys, I would get ICBM. Both by the same company, but I have this. And I've had fun with this. This is a fun game. This is a nuclear war world game. All right, so I pulled it up here. This is the video playing it out. But as you guys can see here, you're going to be doing research. You're going to look up or research new types of missiles, new types of subs, new types of aircraft, build different types of weapons. You're going to have radars. You're going to look, see, right? You're trying to control. It's more like a real-time strategy. I think if you're looking for a game experience of a nuclear war, ICBM is absolutely the way you want to go. This thing is just a lot of fun. Watch some of this real quick. Okay, so you see that's game, okay? It's not realistic. It's not going to give you accurate numbers. It's not going to show fallout patterns and all this other stuff, right? So if you're more into the sciencey side, right, go towards Nuclear War Simulator, because that's going to give you more realistic data, things like that. If you just want a game to play of Nuclear War Simulator, go with ICBM. You'll be better off. I will say, though, I hate to say this because I don't like hating on the company. I do like the company, but I think they're overcharging for Nuclear War Simulator. It's right now, like I said, it's $30. Let me pull it up. Yeah, here we go. And boom. Yeah, it's $30 right now. If this is something that interests you, I would probably wait for this one to go on sale. I think 30 is too much for it. I think 15 to 20 would be a more accurate cost for this simulator, for this game. All right. And that's just me speaking, but I think the features that are in this right now, the fact that it still does have a few glitches, things do need to be fleshed out some more when it comes to, especially like the after effects, like nuclear winter. I played through the AI, Skynet taking out the world. The post nuclear effects aren't really in the simulator yet. Supposedly they're going to be adding those. Okay, cool. There is a lot of modability to this. I think this could be expanded more than ICBM could be. So this could become, especially if you have the community really dive into this and turn it into a more interesting game, something that's going to catch my attention a little bit more. I think this could be expanded upon much more than something like ICBM could, because you have all the tools, everything there for like a world war, nuclear war to be simulated down to all the different details, right? Nuclear fallout and all the other good stuff. It's just not quite there yet. It needs a little more time in the oven. It needs more mod support. It needs some other things going for it. Now, a little bit down the line, if it's got a whole bunch of other stuff built up around it, a little community following it, doing cool stuff with it, yeah, it might be worth the full price at that point, or absolutely you pick it up on sale. Anyway, that's it. This is Nuclear War Simulator. It's a fun little thing. I think it's interesting. I I just don't think it's quite there yet. There's a little bit more that needs to be done with it, and there are a few bugs that need to be tweaked out to get it there past that last little bit of a hurdle. All right, that's going to be it for me, though. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Y'all take care, and I will catch you next time.